Ladies, we are going to talk about this post right here. This is the precise type of man you are supposed to run from. You're supposed to sprint away from. You are supposed to shun. They are not supposed to breathe your same air. Just a bunch of red flags. Now, we've already seen what's going on the dating profiles. If you're on my YouTube, I don't share on my TikTok anymore because they censor the hell out of me. But let's talk about this Am I the A-hole post. A man wrote this, and when men post in the Am I the A-hole, it's kind of a toss-up that they're probably going to be the a-hole. But he says, Am I the a-hole for refusing to pay for my dates, food, and drinks after she claimed she was celibate and waiting until marriage to have sex at 42 with 2 adult children and 2 failed marriages? Already just waving red flags. But let's go ahead and get into this, and we're going to talk about this person, this type of person, and how and why you should just run away. He says, I met a woman on Facebook dating. After messaging each other a few times over a couple of days, we decided to meet up at a restaurant. He did not say I asked her on a date. And he says Facebook dating. Please do not get on Facebook dating unless you're just trying to send me screenshots of people's terrible posts. Overall, she seemed like a nice and classy woman, but the way she talked about dating and the type of man she was looking for was a bit off-putting. She had a list of attributes that she was looking for in a man that just didn't seem realistic given what she was bringing to the table. She claimed to be celibate for the last 3 years and that she was waiting until she was married again to have sex. I knew after the first 10 minutes we had no future together, but I stayed to finish dinner. When the check came, I asked for separate checks, and she kind of scoffed and rolled her eyes. She asked me, Aren't you the one who asked me out? And I said, I am. She mean mugged me for about a minute without saying anything until the waiter came back with the separate checks. Are you really not about to pay for dinner? I just replied, I'll pay for mine and you should pay for yours. I told her it was nice meeting her and walked away. If I wanted to see her again, I would have paid for her food and drinks, but since I had zero interest in doing so, I didn't. Talking over text and then just jumping right into a date just seems foolish, but that's what they did. They messaged a couple of times on Facebook dating, and then they met up. He says, we decided to meet up at a restaurant. And I guess that was enough ambiguity to where he could say, I just wanted to meet up with you. I didn't say that this was a date. And what exactly was she even asking for that was unrealistic? And why can't a 42-year-old woman that he says was nice and classy, why can't she have a list of things simply because she's had a couple of divorces or a couple of failed marriages and she's 42 years old? He's just basically saying, look, this woman is old, she's used up, and she has the nerve to put some kind of standards on me when I'm trying to just hit. He says, I'm giving her some food. She's supposed to bust it wide open. And because she didn't bust it wide open because of a chicken dinner, he's like, yeah, I have no use for this woman. But let's get into the comments a little bit, because some of the things that he's saying, I need women to know and understand. Not My Submarine says, I don't think there's anything wrong necessarily prior to the date saying, hey, on first dates, I generally split the bill. Is that cool with you? That would mean that he's being open and apparent and honest, but he didn't want to do that. This person says, that way everyone gets to make an informed decision on whether the date goes ahead or not. No harm, no foul. Treating a meal like a down payment on vagina access, however, is gross. I like the way this person puts this. A meal is not a down payment on vagina access. Just putting that out there. Cookie Burger says, down payment on vagina access? That's good. The Frank Spot says, wonder what the installment plan is like. Fireful Symmetry says, I think there's a balloon payment at the end. Dino Spaceman at the bottom says, a note for anyone who needs it. Making balloon animals with condoms is not as sexy in real life as it is in your head. I don't know why anyone needed that note, but okay, there you have it. Natch Patch says, ew, think about the language you use when talking about this woman. Like being 42 and having 2 kids doesn't mean she's allowed to have standards or not allowed to have standards. In fact, I would find it really attractive. She's strong in her convictions even if they aren't compatible with yours. You invite someone on a dinner date, you pay for the dinner date, even if it's not a match. Yucky behavior, my dude. You're the a-hole. Edit to add. Just looked at your comments. Why ask if you're not going to listen? You're the a-hole. Looks like you prefer it that way. Good luck with that. I wish him absolutely no luck with any of this because, yes, he is truly the a-hole. He says to her, you think she would get many dates if at 42, 2 kids, and 2 marriages, she was upfront about not having sex again until marriage? I would never even messaged her, let alone asked to spend time with her if I had known that at the beginning. And she knew that would be the case 99% of the time. How does she know? Why not just speak to her about that? Why not just be flat out, look, if I'm having a date with you, if I'm going on a date with you, I expect you to bust it wide open. Why not just be open and honest with her with your expectations? Linwood Kai says, I imagine that she is going to be just fine. Remember, she married and raised children with men who thought that she was great. You should work on why you think dinner equals a vagina access pass. And then the OP says, if I did think that, I would have paid and expected to get laid for it. Ew. Do you really think a woman is so entitled to a man's money that the thought of her having to, he missed the word, pay for her own food on a first date is that appalling to you? But the thing is, if you ask a person on a date, typically you're paying. That's just typical. Why not just be open and honest about it? This is a food prostitution proposition. If I buy you food, I'm expecting some access. You have to, like, they refuse to be open and honest. And you need to know and understand that they really do believe this. That's the reason why I will continue to say that they need to be lonelier, because they really believe that your body is that cheap, especially if you're over a certain age. You see how he keeps talking about her age and the fact that she has 2 kids, because they want to devalue you to the point where you're like, they treat you like you're a can that's like got some dents in it or something, and they expect you to be discounted. This was the part I wanted y'all to see. Natch Patch says, she's not entitled to your money. You offer to take her out. Take a look in the mirror, dude. Your attitude is repulsive. I wanted you to see this part that I circled in red. He said, I suggest we meet up to get to know each other. I didn't say I was buying her food, LOL. I only do that when I'm interested in seeing someone again. So I'm just putting that out there. If they're ambiguous with their plans, if they don't want to hammer down real plans, if they don't specifically ask you out on a date, it might be one of these suggestions to just hang out. And when they say hang out, it's on contingency that you are giving up the goodies. And that's basically that. That is the part that I wanted y'all to hear. I'm being ambiguous on purpose, because if I don't get what I want, then I'm not paying for this, and this is not really technically a date. Double Freedom says, ick. If you're inviting someone to dinner on a date, especially a first date, just expect to pay. Did she insult you, cause a scene? No, just pay the damn bill and move on. If you can't afford to pay, then you shouldn't have planned on a dinner date. And he says, why just pay the bill? Why can't she just pay for her own damn food? If she couldn't afford to buy her own food, maybe she should not be dating. Seriously, what do I get out of buying her food when I never want to see her again? If I pay, I'm out of $50. If I don't, I'm out of nothing. Where is the downside? And so I wanted y'all to see that as well, because I need y'all to know and understand that you need to let these people talk a little bit to see if any kind of red pill, red flag stuff starts flying, because they might believe just like this. Imagine this man being your dinner date, and then think about the fact that you could have spent your own money and ate with friends or had a solo dinner or something. Anything would have been better than spending your own money to hang out with a person like this. And this is why I will continue to say that many of these people deserve to be alone. Because if you're going to connect with somebody and he has such a deplorable attitude, you might as well be spending time alone with yourself, with your friends, somebody else other than this. And enjoy spending your money and hanging out versus thinking that you're going to be with somebody that expects sex based on a meal. One of the things that I said yesterday over on my YouTube page, don't trade coochie for a chicken dinner. Your body is worth more than that. They will continue to try to devalue you. They will keep on finding ways to say you're unworthy. You're over a certain age. You have children. All of your relationships didn't pan out. They will continue to find ways to neg you to the point where you feel like you might as well just give it up because nobody else wants you. Do not do it. Don't go for that. Being single is better than being being with somebody that will manipulate you or try to manipulate you like this person will. Join the conversation. Please share this with all of the women in your lives. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. I'm trying to get to 100,000 subscribers over on YouTube, so go ahead and give your girl a follow.